celebrities with shockingly tragic pasts. They're rich, famous, and beloved by their fans, but these 25 celebs haven't had it easy. From abuse, prison, and delinquency to abandonment and crime. Here are the dark pasts of these stars.
Keanu Reeves. This actor is living proof of resilience. His father abandoned the family when Keanu was just 3 years old. He lost his friend River Phoenix to a drug overdose. His daughter was stillborn, and his ex-lover died in a car accident.
Woody Harrelson? He doesn't talk about it much. But Woody Harrelson's father Charles V. Harrelson was imprisoned twice for murder, which were possibly contract hits.
Sophia Loren. In her autobiography Yesterday, Today, Tomorrow, My Life, the Italian star talks about her childhood during World War II and how her family had to beg for food.
Charlize Theron. At the age of 15, the young Charlize Theron witnessed her mother shoot her father in self-defense when he came home drunk and threatened them with a rifle. He died instantly.
50 Cent. The rapper, whose real name is Curtis Jackson, left his delinquent past behind to achieve his dream of becoming a musician. At 12 years old, he was already dealing drugs. And in 2000, he was shot 9 times. Luckily, he's on the straight and narrow today.
Shania Twain. In addition to enduring physical, verbal, and sexual abuse at the hands of her stepfather, Shania Twain's parents died when she was 22. It fell to her to take care of her brothers and sisters, and she worked relentlessly to feed her family.
Kelsey Grammer. Best known for his starring role on the TV show Frasier. The actor's past hasn't been all roses. Kelsey's father was brutally murdered when he was 13 years old. His sister was also raped and killed in a robbery and he had to identify her body. He says he's forgiven the 2 killers but doesn't want to see them released from jail.
Jim Carrey. The actor and comedian started making jokes to make his gravely ill mother laugh. When he was 16 years old, he had to support his family when his dad lost his job. Jim dropped out of school to start working as a janitor, which led to depression. For a while, his family was so poor they lived in their van.
Jack Nicholson. Years after the death of the woman he thought was his sister, Jack learned she was actually his mother. June had gotten pregnant at age 17 and lived with her parents all his life. She told Jack that they were also his parents.
Leighton Meester. The Gossip Girl star wasn't born into a privileged family like her character Blair Waldorf. She was born while her mother and father were doing time in prison for drug trafficking. Luckily, she was born in a hospital and not in the actual prison.
Tobey Maguire. Struggling to feed both his and his sister's families after she died of cancer, Tobey Maguire's father robbed a bank to solve his financial problems when Tobey was still a child. He was arrested immediately.
Nicki Minaj. The rapper is never at a loss for words. Her father, who was constantly high, was violent and even set fire to the house once while she and her mother were inside.
Rose McGowan. The actress and activist grew up in a cult in Italy called Children of God. Her parents left the cult when Rose was 9 years old because the cult leaders started advocating child-adult sex.
Patricia, Rosanna et David Arquette. The Arquette siblings grew up in a hippie commune with no bathroom or running water. Even after they left the commune, their home life wasn't much better, as their parents were drug addicts. Rosanna was stabbed in the arm by their mother, while her brother and sister were also victims of physical and verbal abuse.
Ashley Judd. In her autobiography All That Is Bitter and Sweet, Ashley Judd recalls a childhood marked by her mother's neglect and inappropriate sexual behavior. In addition to the emotional and sexual abuse Ashley suffered until she was a teenager.
Jennifer Hudson. The singer and actress was just starting to become famous when her sister's estranged husband killed Jennifer's brother, mother, and 7-year-old nephew in a shocking act of violence.
Marilyn Monroe. The famous actress's mother suffered from schizophrenia and was regularly locked up in psychiatric hospitals. Young Norma Jean spent her childhood shunted from one foster family to another before dropping out of school at 16 to get married.
Gabrielle Union. When she was 19 years old, Gabrielle was raped at gunpoint while working in a shoe store. Now, she puts her fame to good use to raise awareness about sexual crime, especially when the victims are women of color.
Roy Orbison. Few people remember the tragedies that marked the singer's life. First, he lost his wife in a motorcycle accident. 2 years later, 2 of his 3 children died in a fire at his home. And in 1973, his brother Grady died in a car accident.
Tyler Perry. The actor, scriptwriter, and producer confided to his friend Oprah Winfrey about his traumatic childhood. He was savagely beaten by his father on several occasions, in addition to being the victim of sexual abuse several times before the age of 10.
Demi Moore. For this actress, alcohol abuse runs in the family. In addition to suffering from alcoholism herself, Demi was raised by a mother and stepfather who were also alcoholics and often fought and beat each other in front of her.
Pom Klementieff, the actress, who spent her childhood traveling the world, lost her father when she was 5 years old. Her mother suffered from schizophrenia and was unable to care for her and her brother. Her uncle was declared their legal guardian and died the day of her 18th birthday. Her brother took his own life on her 25th birthday. Despite it all, Pom keeps laughing through the pain.
Drew Barrymore. As a child star, young Drew quickly fell victim to the vices of Hollywood. An alcoholic at 11 and a drug addict at 12, she tried to end her life when she was just 13 years old. Her career dropped off before she made a comeback as an adult.
Marlon Brando. Born to alcoholic parents and a controlling, violent father, Marlon Brando was no stranger to tragedy. His son Christian killed his half-sister Cheyenne's boyfriend while she was pregnant. She lost custody of her son and hanged herself 5 years later.
Oprah Winfrey. The powerful businesswoman has overcome many obstacles to get to where she is today. As a child, she was so poor she had to go to school in dresses made of potato sacks. She was raped several times and even got pregnant after being raped at 14. Her son was born prematurely and died soon after he was born. All these tragedies have made Oprah more resilient.
Well, that's all, folks.
That's my line.
Step aside, babe. Let a star do this. That's all!
That's all, folks!